Pony. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Nada. She went to school every day with her pink backpack, dreaming of finding friends to share laughter and play with. But at school, whenever she tried to get close to the kids, they moved away and said, "We're busy right now, Nada." So she stood alone, sad with tears in her eyes. When she got home, very upset, she went to her mother and said, "Mom, why doesn't anyone want to be my friend? Maybe I'm not pretty enough, or not like them." Her mother hugged her tightly and said in a warm, wise voice, "Listen, Nada, it's not important to have lots of friends. What matters is to have real friends. True friendship doesn't come from being just like them, but from being yourself and showing your kindness and courage. Anyone who deserves to be your friend will see the beauty of your heart before anything else." The next day, Nada decided to just be herself. During break time, she saw a boy who had fallen down and spilled his juice on his clothes. She quickly grabbed some tissues and helped him. The boy smiled and said, "Thank you, Nada. You're really kind." Later, when she saw a girl sitting alone, looking sad, she sat next to her and said, "Would you like to draw together?" Little by little, the children began to see that Nada was truly different, not because of how she looked, but because of her heart. In the end, they came around her and said, "Nada, come play with us. You make us happy." Nada ran home and said to her mother, "Mom, you were right. Whoever loves me for who I am, that's a real friend." On a sunny morning at Al-Zahor School, the classroom was full of energy and laughter. Teacher Mrs. Sarah walked in carrying a small, colorful box. She smiled and said, "Today we have a very special lesson about an important day in our country's history, 6th of October. Salim and Amina sat in the front row. Salim raised his hand and asked, "That's the day we won the war, right?" Mrs. Sarah smiled and said, "Exactly, Salim. On 6th of October, 1973, the Egyptian armed forces successfully crossed the Suez Canal and destroyed the Israeli Bar-Lev defensive line. They used innovative water pumps to open gaps in the sand barrier and built floating bridges, allowing thousands of soldiers and armored vehicles to cross to the eastern bank and reclaim Egyptian land in Sinai." Amina asked in surprise, "Why was there another army?" Mrs. Sarah explained, "After the 1967 war, the Israeli army occupied Sinai. The Egyptians wanted to take back their land, which was their right. And indeed, on October 6, 1973, the Egyptians planned a very smart strategy, crossed the canal, and reclaimed their land." Mrs. Sarah opened the box and pulled out a small toy map of Egypt with a blue line representing the Suez Canal and small wooden bridges. She said, "Let's play the crossing game." Mrs. Sarah, here now. Sarah divided the students into two groups, each group with small toy soldiers. Salim and Amina took the first toy soldier and shouted loudly, "Long live Egypt!" They moved the soldiers across the wooden bridges, laughing as they played. After the game, Mrs. Sarah said, "October 6th teaches us that courage isn't just about fighting, but also about teamwork, planning, and loving our country." The Egyptian soldiers at that time freed their land from the Israeli army and showed the whole world what determination means. Celine smiled and said to Amina, "When I grow up, I want to be like the heroes of the army, brave and loving my country." Amina said, "Me too." The school bell rang, but the lessons stayed in their hearts. Each student left saying, "Long live Egypt." On a beautiful day, Malika and Yahia were sitting with Grandma Susu at home. Suddenly, Dodo came in smiling and said, "Come on, my dears. I have a surprise for you. We're going to see the dolphin show." Malika opened her eyes in surprise and said, "A dolphin? But I'm a little scared." Yahia laughed and said, "Don't be afraid, Malika. I'm with you." They went with Dodo and sat in front of the big pool. The little dolphin jumped out of the water and did amazing tricks. Malika forgot her fear and kept clapping and laughing with Yahia. After a while, the dolphin's mom and dad appeared and danced with their little dolphin. They were a complete and very happy family. Dodo looked at the children and said, "You know, my dears, dolphins are one of the smartest animals in the sea, and they live together in groups called pods. They love to play and help each other, just like we should help one another." The show ended, and Yahia and Malika went down and took a picture with the little dolphin. Malika said, "I'm so happy I saw them." And Yahia said, "Me too. I love dolphins." Then they went back to Grandma to tell her everything they had seen. تابعونا عشان كل أسبوع في جديد. Boomy. Once upon a time, there was a cunning fox walking in the forest, very hungry and looking for something to eat. He saw a big red apple high up in a tree. He said to himself, "It looks delicious, but the tree is too tall. I need to find a way to trick someone into getting it for me." A little rabbit passed by. So the fox smiled at him and said, "Hey, lovely rabbit, if you bring me that apple, I'll let you have half of it." The rabbit was happy and quickly climbed the tree. He managed to bring down the apple, but the fox snatched it and said, "Ha-ha! Thanks, I'll eat it all by myself." The rabbit was upset and cried. A wise owl who had been watching everything flew down to the fox and said, "Those who deceive others will never truly enjoy their food." And indeed, as soon as the fox ate the apple, he got a terrible stomachache and screamed, "My tummy! My tummy!" The owl laughed and said, "You had to learn the lesson. Tricks don't always work." From that day on, the fox learned that cheating only brings trouble. The fox said, "I'm sorry, little rabbit. I was wrong to trick you, and I promise from today I will stop being cunning." The rabbit smiled and said, "I forgive you, fox." Suddenly, all the animals of the forest gathered around them and began clapping and laughing with joy. The whole forest filled with colors and happiness, and the sun shone brighter as if celebrating with them. Some say to a child, "Wise animals and nature. Children, honesty is always better than trickery." In a small, beautiful forest, there lived a little bunny named Lolly with her mother, Mama Rabbit. One day,
Mama Rabbit said kindly, "Lolly, I'm going out to buy some carrots from the market. Stay at home and don't open the door for anyone, even if they say they know you." Lolly nodded and said, "Okay, Mama." Mama Rabbit left, and Lolly sat happily playing with her toys. Suddenly, she heard knock, knock, knock. A voice from behind the door said, "Lolly, open the door. It's me, your neighbor the bear. I brought you some delicious honey." Lolly stood behind the door and asked nervously, "But Mama told me not to open the door for anyone when she's not here." The voice replied, "I'm not a stranger. Just open it a little." But the wise owl Toto, who lived in a nearby tree, saw what was happening. She quickly flew to the market and called for Mama Rabbit. Mama Rabbit rushed back and found out that the bear wasn't really their neighbor. He ran away quickly the moment he saw her coming. Mama Rabbit hugged her daughter tightly and said, "Bravo, Lolly. You're such a smart girl. You should never open the door for anyone when Mama isn't home."
There was a boy named Sameh. He loved going to school and playing with his friends during recess. One day, while he was running and playing, another boy pushed him hard and he fell to the ground. Sameh was surprised and felt pain, his eyes filled with tears. Sameh quickly remembered what his mom had told him before. If someone bothers or hits you, don't respond with violence. Speak up calmly and tell the teacher. Sameh stood up, took a deep breath, and said firmly, "Stop, don't play like that with me." The boy who pushed him laughed and tried to continue, but Sameh didn't play anymore. He ran straight to the teacher, who was nearby, and said calmly, "Miss, Kareem pushed me and I got hurt." The teacher stopped and asked, "What happened, Sameh?" Sameh told her honestly what had happened. The teacher asked the other boy too, and listened to both sides of the story. Then she said to the boy, "Hitting isn't a game. You need to apologize." The boy apologized, and everything calmed down. When he got home, Sameh told his mom everything. His mom hugged him and said lovingly, "You did the right thing, Sameh. You didn't hit back. You went to your teacher. That's how you protect yourself in a respectful way." تابعونا عشان كل أسبوع في جديد. Boomy.